Hello and welcome to Jeremy's Retro Bar. I'm Jeremy and this is my Retro Bar. And it is DOScember, which means for this week's episode, I'm gonna be adding as many sidecars and ridiculous upgrades to this IBM PC Jr. as I can, but of course first, we're gonna need to make ourselves a drink. So for this week's drink, we're gonna be making mulled wine. We've got a pan on my stove over medium heat, and I'm gonna combine all the ingredients right here in this pot. So first we're gonna start with one 750 milliliter bottle of red wine. Then I'm gonna add one orange sliced into rounds. And I'm gonna add 6 cloves, 3 cinnamon sticks, 3 star anise, 1 1/4 cup honey, and 1/2 cup brandy. I'm just gonna stir that. So then I'm gonna bring this up to a simmer. And now that we've got a nice simmer going, we're gonna reduce that to medium-low heat for 10 minutes. Then we're just gonna take it off the stove. I put it in this pitcher. And we'll just pour it into our glass. Whoop, a little spillage there. And add an orange slice and a cinnamon stick for garnish. And there we have mulled wine. Cheers. Oh wow, it's very festive tasting. I've never had mulled wine before, so that's pretty good. So anyway, let's get on to upgrading the heck out of this PC Jr. All right, so for DOScember, I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade this IBM PC Jr. Now, I already have a PC Jr. that I restored a little while ago, not on my channel, I think it was right before I started my channel, but I did a full recap on it and I know that it works. This PC Jr. I actually got because I was on Marketplace, came across the PC Jr. and I just was flipping through the images and I wouldn't have normally looked at it, but it had 2 things with it that made me intrigued, well 3 really. So it had an original IBM PC Jr. King's Quest plus the original IBM strategy games and the original IBM casino games. Now, those are just kind of thrown in as extras. And I started messaging the guy and it was a little bit far. He was around in the Memphis area and he's like, look, I'll meet you halfway. He's like, I'll throw in extra things. He also threw in a TI 99/4A and a TI, like a compact TI battery powered computer that I was just not familiar with because I'm not super familiar with Texas Instruments computers. But he threw all of those in as well as this software, which this software, if you ever look on eBay, is worth more than what I paid for that plus 2 computers plus a bunch of accessories. So that's how I came across this guy. And then from Computer Reset, I got all these PC Jr. accessories in box. So I figured this is a perfect project PC to put those onto. And I also have, I ordered this a long time ago, but from Texelec, I have a hard drive module, or at least an IDE controller for the PC Jr. Now it's bare, and I'm gonna repurpose one of these cartridge cases here to house this. And so we're gonna do that. We're gonna put this in and get a hard drive and add as many of these sidecars as possible to make probably one of the most ridiculous looking PC Juniors that exists. So the first thing I wanna do is just see if it works. So give me a second here to get it plugged in. Good there, and go ahead and do that. Nice. 6,428. And I guess it's 256 kilobytes. Ooh. Nice. So it looks like it already has full RAM, 640K of RAM. So that's nice. And we'll just boot right into basic because I don't have anything loaded and I have the basic cartridge popped in. So that's awesome. I might go ahead and open it up and just take a look inside it and see what we can see. And maybe we just add the hard drive and that's it. All right, so I've got my spudger, which I mispronounced in a previous video because I pronounce everything with the wrong vowel sound. And I think we just pop this guy off doesn't have a screws. Let's take a look inside. Yeah, cool. Oh wow, okay. So yeah, it looks like we've got the floppy drive here. And I guess this is is that the RAM? And then we got the sidebar. Looks like it's running power to the power supply. And, oh no, because I actually have a second power that I plug in. So that's my second power supply that's powering these guys. I think I'm gonna go with the parallel printer attachment because it's already got a parallel printer attachment on that guy. And see if we can pop this guy open so that we can put in our hard drive or IDE adapter with the hard drive on it. And, oh yeah, it looks like we've got a couple of tabs here. So just pull those guys up. So it looks like these screws are going through the other side, so you do need to put a little tension on them and unscrew them to get this other half of the chassis off. I feel like I'm really gonna destroy this thing. Yeah, it needs to be out there a certain amount to put a certain amount of pressure on it, and then the screws unscrew. I'm gonna use my spudger to put that pressure on it so that the screw works. So the threading catches. All right, it looks like this uses a CR1220, which I do not have currently, so I'm just gonna have to do the rest of this build and pop it in later. I'm not super concerned about a real-time clock, especially on software that's gonna run on a PC Junior, but anyway, that's just what I'm gonna deal with. So this module is sold by Texelec, and what's really neat about it is, well, it gives us the ability to have a hard drive on a PC Junior, which famously never had one. So I've got this DOM, this disk on module here that I've never used, and I'm gonna attempt to use it because it's nice because it plugs right in. I don't need to do a ribbon cable to a hard drive or a ribbon cable to an adapter to, you know, all of that to do a compact flash. So I've seen these be slow in the past, but again, we're on a PC Junior, it shouldn't matter the speed. So we're gonna try that out, and it is supplying 5-volt power to the disk on module, so I shouldn't need to run any extra power to this as well, which is nice. So yeah, anyway, let's try to pop that into here and pop this back together. And we'll save this for later because we never know when we might need another parallel port for this. And we'll just attach that to the side. I already love how ridiculous this is. Okay, so let's see what this is. Okay, so that is the internal, that slotted memory for the PC Junior. So anyway, I don't need that, that's already in there. We already have the parallel printer, so we don't need to add that. So we might only have 2 goofy devices hanging off the side. Oh, adapter cable for serial devices. Yeah, I don't need a second parallel printer. So it looks like it's just gonna be this guy, and that's it. So not as ridiculous as I was hoping. I was wanting it out to here with attachments. Now we can attach our plastic side panel, snap, snap, and our top, which is just slides in and pops down. And now we have our crazy slightly L-shaped computer. I kind of want to add the more stacks and find some more side attachments and see how much of a monstrosity we can make this thing, but I guess for now this will do. So, all right, well, let's get it set up and get some software installed and see if we can get this hard drive up and running. To install the operating system here on the IBM PCjr, the PCjr actually comes with DOS 2.1, but DOS 2.1 does not support hard drives, and so for that, I'm gonna do DOS 3.3. For some reason, our little token ring network card here was giving us some glitches, so I went ahead and removed it, so this computer is gonna be even less ridiculous than I hoped. Oh well, so this isn't gonna be the ridiculous add every PC add-on to this PCjr, but we at least are gonna be adding the hard drive to the PCjr. Let's go ahead and power it on. I've got my floppy in here. Okay, so now I'm going to make a directory, C:, where's the backslash on this keyboard? Oh, I see, I have to use this, C:/, DOS. Nice. It boots to our C drive. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get some games installed on this bad boy, and we can test this out. So one of the fun things about shooting a video in order is that sometimes what I start off with the video being about isn't what the video ends up being about. And one of the main examples was I was expecting to just load sidecars onto this PCjr, but it doesn't really need it, and that's because of the jr-IDE, the jr-IDE here, which I assumed worked just like an XT IDE, just instead of having an ISA card slot, it had the PCjr sidecar slot. That was correct, but the jr-IDE also has a full complement of RAM, so it maxes out the RAM of the PCjr, and it has a real-time clock, as we saw when I was assembling it. It has the clock battery for it. So there's no need to add like RAM sidecars or anything like that, which was kind of what I was hoping to make it look just really, really ridiculous. The main issue that I ran into with this though is that how the hard drive is powered. So it has a disk-on module, and it will get power on the 20 pin, I believe it is. The 20 pin gives 5-volt power to your DOM or your disk-on module. There's also 2 lines for 5-volt power that theoretically you can run to like a hard drive or a compact flash adapter, which is what I had tried with it after I had put it all together, and the compact flash adapter for whatever didn't work. Now, if you read the kind of the FAQ on TechSelect's website, or the guy who makes who designed the jr-IDE, they suggest SanDisk, and the ones that I have is not a SanDisk, and so that it might just be a compatibility issue. That disk-on module, I don't have another computer to plug that into to copy things to it. I guess I could just build a whole machine just for the purpose of copying files to the disk-on module. And I also don't have an adapter that can just plug that into a regular IDE port. So the pins are reversed because it's the same as what the cable would be. So that made loading software a lot harder, which is why we're here right now, because I loaded DOS and then I was like, I'll load some games and we'll do a demo and we'll get out. Well, the disk-on module is a huge pain in the butt because I can't pop it into a regular PC and copy files onto it. I decided that I was just gonna load all the software from floppy, and so I was like, cool, I've got the floppy disk for King's Quest. Disk doesn't work. And because Sierra has this fun copy protection, you need the floppy to be able to be read in order for the game to run. So I was like, no problem. I've got another copy of King's Quest. Same issue. And another copy of King's Quest. Same issue. All three of these King's Quests all have something wrong with the floppy. Now, that is why a GoTech is a great idea, and I didn't want to make this video about a GoTech, and I'm not going to make this video about a GoTech. That will be another upgrade video in the future, but the software rot, the magnetic data loss is a real problem, and I'm only just now starting to encounter it. I had had good luck for so long that most of the software I got was stored well and pop it in and it runs. And now I think that we're nearing the 40-year mark for a lot of these things. That's starting to be the kind of breaking point for a lot of the magnetic media. So anyway, that's a glimpse into the difficulties that I had trying to load software onto this device. Now, to do it again, I would probably use a compact flash adapter and keep trying different compact flash cards until I get one that works, one that it sees, because getting software on and off these old machines is so much easier when you can just move that to a card reader on a modern computer, copy the files across, pop it back in and go, which is great. The other thing that I'm probably going to do in the future is going to be add a GoTech to this, because so much software for the PC Jr. is boot software. So you boot into the game, you boot into that software, and it assumes you don't have a hard drive because the PC Jr. never had a hard drive. That is a thing that, you know, I did with my Amiga 500. Most of that software you booted into the game, and that's why I put the GoX on that one. And I think I need to do the same for this guy. And with the two floppy drives, it gives us that flexibility, which is nice. That's another project for another day. We're not going to worry about that, but just know that a lot of the software for this platform does require the floppy and to boot into that floppy. So anyway, let's see some game demos and we can get out of here. So since I can't start off with King's Quest 1 because my floppies weren't working, we're going to go ahead and start off with King's Quest 3. And of course, it still requires the floppy to be put in. So here we go. Original King's Quest 3. So you can hear that nice 3-voice music from the PC Jr., which of course was adopted by Tandy and used pretty prevalently until ad-libs came into dominance. And we're getting a little bit of flicker here, but we can see our King's Quest 3 is working great. And same deal for Space Quest 2. Again, original floppy. So, fun fact, this was the first Sierra game that I ever knowingly played. I think this may be original King's Quest, but my dad had a copy on his computer and I would open it up and start the intro, and I never played it. Like, I got to this point and I had no idea what to do because I didn't know how the text parser worked. And also, once I did figure out that I could type things in, it wouldn't do anything. And it wasn't till way later that I noticed, oh, if you walk to the back, you're upside down, or you're sideways, and then you're upside down. I had no clue. That's all I needed to do. I probably played this like 20 times before discovering that. That's interesting. So it actually is using the inside PC speaker and not this speaker here for the PC Jr. So we're getting the far, far more terrible PC speaker sound. And also, I can't change the volume of that. Like this one I can change the volume of. That one I cannot. That's so bad. Now I'm going to do this Zill, which is a text adventure that I got also from Computer Reset. Had been sealed, and we'll see how this one goes. So, this is clearly made for the PC Jr. It's in the packaging. You know, it's got the IBM seal of approval. And they're not using the PC Jr. speakers. They're using PC speaker. That's crazy. Well, there it is, the PC Jr., or at least my introductory episode of the PC Jr. Clearly came across things that I was not expecting to come across with this kind of interesting, weird failure of a machine. But I know a lot of people have these or are getting these because they were kept and not considered desirable, and now people are doing things like the jr-IDE, which is enabling it to do more PC-like things, which is really, really cool. So I'm gonna say that the next thing that I need to do is add a GoTech to this machine in order to have more of the experience that I would like to have on this machine. The other is to order an adapter so that I can plug the DOM that I'm using into a regular IDE cable so that I can copy files onto it so I can get the original King's Quest onto it. Anyway, it was a fun adventure of loading software the old-fashioned way, floppy by floppy, for the last day. But I really still like this machine. If you can get them, you can usually get them relatively cheap. And if you can get your hands on one, I think it's a fun one to play with, but just know that there's gonna be a lot of legwork if you don't have things like software in order to get it running, or maybe someone can build you a compact flash for your jr-IDE and kind of get you up and running. That might be the way to go. Get some cracked versions of these games so you don't have to put the floppy in every time. Yeah, so there's some things that we can do with it, but it's nice that the Sierra games all work, which makes sense. Sierra really got its start on the PC with the PC Jr. And yeah, that's really the main ones that I can get to work on it. It's a cool machine, and that's it for my DOScember video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.